Oh, decided I want to work on the Hendey tonight. I want to clean this, I want to degrease this chip pan. And the thing that's nice about this chip pan, which that Hendey that I saw down, that was on Craigslist that I went down to look at, I looked at the chip pan on that one and realized that one didn't have a sump on it. My chip pan's got a sump. There's actually a very dirty screen running down the center there. And then there's a bump down area in the bottom there, which you can't see it or not. Kind of hanging down underneath there, and there's actually a threaded pipe plug in there, so you can open it up and drain it. So my plan is, if I get this thing level, I should be able to just put parts cleaner right in there and give it a good scrub down and wash it all down into that sump, and then drain it into a bucket. So I want to get it higher up and level so that A, I can get a bucket underneath there when the time comes to drain it, and B, just to make it more comfortable to work on when I'm scrubbing. So it occurred to me that the SIP base, the SIP drill press base, is sitting here in the way anyways. So it occurred to me, why not use that as one end to support this thing? And then as far as the other end, lifting that up, I'm thinking now might be as good a time as any to break out and assemble the shop crane, or whatever the heck this thing was called that I picked up at Harbor Freight. Well, I guess I'll start by opening up the box. Should have laid this box down. See, step 1 says to slide the legs into the base, but in the picture they show all the casters already installed on the base. And the casters aren't on the base right now, so I guess I'll put them on. Helps to have long fingers. Oops. What I was about to say was, at least on these, they saw fit to just tap these holes, so have to deal with the nuts and lock washers. Now I'm ready for step 1. Slide legs into front of base. For anybody who is wondering what the heck this thing is that I'm using as a workbench, just check out the SIP videos. Just look under my videos and look for SIPP, drill press. This is the base for a drill press. I'll be working on sooner than later, hopefully. If I didn't have long fingers, this would be kind of a pain to do. Boy, the boiler's running a long time. Heating oil has shot way up. Price. Much to my chagrin. I know why it's running like heck, because it's making hot water. Because it's that time of evening when the timer's telling it that we need plenty of hot water to wash all of my filthy kids. It's a small one. There's the other big one. idea is you're supposed to take these pins out easy enough so that you can lift these legs up. That's the folding capability that this supposedly has to get it out of your way. You're not using it. This piece right here, this part right here actually looks like it's bent out a little bit. I'm going to live with that. It's not that hard to pop out. Next step is to actually mount the handle that goes on here. But then the very next step after that is to mount this on here. So I think what I'm going to do is mount this on here first and then put the handle on. Well, I am now ready to put these supports on. It has become woefully apparent to me that I am short of metric sockets, large metric sockets. I've got standard sockets that go pretty large, but in metric, I only have up to 20 millimeter, and all of these bolts are metric big. So, anyways, let's see. I give them credit on the heads of these big bolts. They've actually stamped the number that corresponds in the parts list drawing here. So it kind of helps figure out which bolts are where. So for instance, this one is a diagram. It shows that this is 15. This is the one that's supposed to go through this hole up here and hold this upper ends of the two brackets. So these have a bend in them, so they have to go a certain way. They can't go this way. They got to go this way because it's been offset. One's going to go like that. And this one has to go like this. And so I'll just put some loose. Well, that makes perfect sense. That doesn't line up at all. Yeah. Not even close. Alright, so I'm trying to put these vertical supports on right here in this drawing, and they clearly go from these holes near the rear of this assembly right there up to this hole right here, which is, there's only one hole up here, so I know I've got this in the right hole. And so these are supposed to drop, you can see this angle's back like it's supposed to. So these uprights are supposed to come right down and be bolted to here. And the problem is, there's no way that's going to happen. They're like a full bolt hole length off. And they're not even long enough. Which means either these were made the wrong, these pieces here were made too short, or well, I don't know, this piece could be too tall. This is a pain. Alright, I figured it out. It looks like when they welded this bottom plate onto this piece right here, they didn't get the angle right. So what you have to do is, I loosened up these two bolts. That allows this to tilt back far enough so I can get these on. And once I have these bolted up, then I'll go back and tighten these back down. And you know, this isn't gonna sit flat on top of this like it should, but you know, that's why this thing costs less than $200. This is the largest bolt that came in the kit. Next is the pivot. Oops. Next is the pivot. That's the extension part of the boom. I'll leave that on the floor so it doesn't slide out while I'm trying to deal with this. They give no guidance whatsoever on how tight to tighten this bolt. If I tighten it, as I tighten it, it's crushing this closed. So I'm sure if I tighten it too much, it's going to start to bind. Almost seems like there should be washers in there as spacers, but they're not called for. Doesn't mean I couldn't add a couple. And definitely do not have washers in there. In other words, there's an excessive space between. See how this is. See how this goes? Like that. That's because there's a ton of them in there. Although that's tight now, so. Alright, so I got this washer out of my hardware drawer there, and it's a nice greasy, well, it's a thick one, and it's got the right diameter, so I'm going to put that in there. Now you can see it's putting tension on that. But now I don't have that side, I don't have this side-to-side play that was in there before, which, you know, if you're lifting something heavy and trying to get into a precise position, like say you're dropping a motor in and you're trying to get it to line up with the bell housing on a tranny, you've already got some swing in there because of the chain. Why amplify that with that play, right? At least that's my theory. And I'm sticking to it. Slightly. Oh, now that's a jack. 8-ton. Long ram. That's interesting on this bottom part right here. They've tack welded a couple washers in to make up for the space difference. Why did I think this didn't depress any more than this? Yeah, that's the problem with putting that washer in there and making this tight. I actually thought it wouldn't go down. Duh. up. Why does this not look right? I guess it's alright. Alright. Next is the boom. Obviously the slot has to face down. Alright, I just want to take a quick minute and talk about the limitations on these shop cranes. This crane is advertised as a 2-ton shop crane. They also sell a 1.5-ton version of this crane. And there's not much price difference between the two. And you definitely want to spring for the heavy of the two, especially because the actual true rating is determined by how far you have the boom extended. So you'll see I've got the boom extended quite a bit right here. And that coincides, tells you right on the side here, when you have the bolt in this position, which is fully extended, this is rated as a 1/2 ton. Back here, shorten it up a little more, you go to 1 ton, 1.5. You've got to shorten this thing up really short to get the full 2-ton lifting capacity of this crane. Oh, I've got to run, but that's basically how it looks all assembled. We'll put it to work real soon.